A very pleasant good day, my beloved brothers and sisters. Well, once again, this is your Christian brother Eric Bergson speaking to you all from his beloved country, Trinidad and Tobago, the land of my nativity, the land of my birth, Trinidad and Tobago, this wonderful island country that is in the blue Caribbean Sea, speaking to you all on this Sunday in the month of October 2018. And the title of this video, Peace, the Impossible Dream, this part 3 video. I continue sharing this information with you all. Satan vainly hoped to disrupt God's plan through any means possible, included extinction of the human race. Satan knows God's design for human beings is become part of his wonderful God family. Hebrews, the 2nd chapter, verse 11 and 13, as God's own children. John 1, the pieces are John 1:12, Romans 8:14 and 19, and they are pieces of John, first pieces of John, verse 3 and 1 to 2. Since God wouldn't allow Satan directly to destroy mankind, he will not allow Satan to destroy mankind. God will not allow that. As in the example of Job, see Job 1 verse 12. The devil hoped to accomplish his aim by influencing human beings to destroy themselves and each other. One of the most effective ways Satan used to do that is through wars. Right? So Satan create wars, or allow wars to take place. Create wars, bring about wars, so that humans would be fighting against one another and killing out one another and all these things. Right? And we've seen it through crime, with the guns entering the hands of the youth, and all the different gang warfares in Chicago and in Trinidad and other parts of the world. This gang down on that street, the next gang up the road, they are warring and fighting against one another, and with the guns in their hand, each gang are shooting and killing one member. They are warring. Each gang are warring amongst themselves, and each day they are shooting down and killing one another. So we are seeing it on that level, and then on the ground level, where nation are fighting against nation, and of course through civil war, like in Africa, where a colonel was in the army or to a certain rank, and he doesn't like the president, and a certain batch of soldiers follow it. They call him a mutiny, and that soldiers is now fighting against the president, bring about civil war. And if he doesn't overthrow the government, the soldiers that join him, they flee from that African country and they go in the next African country to set up the base, and then they cross back in the native country, but you go against the president to continue the armed revolution. So now ex-soldiers are fighting against the current soldiers that are supporting the president, and bloodshed taking place amongst them. That have been happening in Africa for years, and it's still taking place in Africa. They call them militia groups, guerrilla groups, and like for instance, in
Boko Haram, ISIS,
Colombia, with the armed revolution armed force of Colombia, for 60 years that war have been taking place, and how happy it have ended recently 2 years ago with all the meeting in Cuba with the president of Colombia. But then again, that's what the armed revolution of Colombia. But there's a next group that is bigger than that group. This government is still negotiated with them, so that all the armed groups will dissolve. But the other group, they have dissolved, and now they have entered politics, and all the fighters have laid down their arms. You understand? But a lot of people is not trusting them, because they believe a lot of them had the guns hiding still, and they could quote it and result the thing. And they know that these rebels have killed a lot of people. And when they go back in the community living, a lot of people have them suspicious. You understand? Because that get work for them and all kind of thing. A lot of them ask to the government They want to remain in Colombia, so they asked the government. A lot of them want to go to Paris, England, and all these things. So the government work out a plan. All of them want to stay. All could go, move all the family and go to a different place. The government will pay that for them and settle down, and then plus they could visit their home country, Colombia, and then go back to the country, the foreign country that they choose to live in. But a lot of them decide to stay right in Colombia as ex-rebels. But the people, the older people who have lost their daughters and sons by these rebels who have killed, and now they have accepted them now, the people have to forgive them in the community, and that is the Colombians and them, will have to do that and welcome them back as the brothers and sisters in the community and live amongst them. But they know that they was responsible for burning down the house, shooting the daughter, killing the son who was soldiers and all these things. You understand? That's what is taking place in Colombia. But then again, there's a next group. They still arm and they have a certain amount of territory. You understand? They had to negotiate with the government though to bring about peace, because they're armed to the teeth too. But that war that take place in Colombia, more than 100,000 people have get killed. Thousands of soldiers, thousands of government soldiers, and thousands of rebels, and thousands of civilian people over that 60-something years. Brothers and sisters fighting. You see how much life went down the drain, brothers and sisters, on both sides. That is only in Colombia. In other parts of the world, brothers and sisters. So I've used that example, brothers and sisters. Yeah. Right. It is true Satan murderous philosophy. All you hear that? It is true Satan murderous philosophy. That's why the Bible says he's a murderer from the beginning. Well, you have to understand that. It doesn't mean to say when God created him, he was a murderer. No, the scriptures doesn't mean that. Because if it says the scripture that since when God created Lucifer, he was a murderer, then it means that God created a murderer. It doesn't mean that. You have to understand the text. Because Lucifer was a good angel, so at that time he was no murderer. So you have to understand what the text is saying. The Bible doesn't contradict itself. He became that. He was not created that. So I hope you all understand that crystal clear, right? Hope you all understand that very crystal clear. Since Satan, it is true Satan murderous philosophy. Yes, because he's causing a lot of murder in the world, brothers and sisters, by causing mankind to fight against one another, and mankind to cause murder and all these things. Understand? So all these things he's behind it. You understand, brothers and sisters, right? That is part of his philosophy, right? Influence, because he influenced mankind to fight against one another. All these things, right? So you see, he's a real being. Lucifer is a real being. He's an angel. He's a real being, right? Selfish, carnal. Carnal means physical nature, our carnal, physical, sinful nature. We fight and kill one another and all these things, right? Because at that time, the love of God is not in you. And the fulfillment of the law is to love one another. Because if you have the love of God, then you will love one another, not fight and kill against one another, right? Influence, selfish, carnal nature. James 4 verse 1 and 3. That all wars are fought. Massive wars erupting during a time of great tribulation troubles. Matthew 24 verse 21 will devastate the earth and threaten mankind with extinction. That's by the nuclear weapon, because the only weapon upon this earth that could extinct all human life, kill every human beings plus animals off of the earth. I know you all know it by now. Do Eric Braxton have to tell you all? But a lot of you all plain ignorant concerning that. Yes, so that's why I'll have to tell you all. Yes, although the evidence is right in front of your face, the nuclear weapons. Will you get that message clear? Right. Keep it clear in all the mind. Will devastate the earth and threaten mankind with extension. Verse 22. Initiated by Satan through gullible and evil men. Yes, evil men who will love to use these nuclear weapons against one another too. Those, yes, you all better believe it. Yes, all better believe it. Wars will kill literally billions of people. Revelation 9 verse 15 and 18. Yes, and that war that will be able to kill billions of people is by the nuclear weapons, brothers and sisters. You all better believe it. By the nuclear weapons. Yes, my dear friends. Well, brothers and sisters, I've come to the end of this part 1, 2, 3. Yes, part 3 video. May the grace of God be with you all and with me and with the human family from this day forth and forevermore. Shalom, peace. See you all in the next video soon. Bye bye, my friends.